Welcome back to the series where I give new teams to various trainers in the Pokemon world. In this video, we're going to be going over all the major characters in the Hisui region, aka Old Sinnoh. This one should be pretty fun as most Hisui trainers don't even use a lot of Pokemon, so let's not waste any more time and get to those teams. Let's begin with the Wardens, and me oh my, first up is Mai. Her team will be Teddiursa, Munchlax, and Wyrdeer. Mai is the first major Warden you encounter, and already uses a Munchlax, so I think it makes perfect sense for her to specialize in the normal type. She's also the Warden for Wyrdeer, which is an added bonus, and is exactly why I decided to give her one as well. FYI, I'll be giving all the Wardens their noble Pokemon, so don't be too surprised about that going forward. Lastly, there's Teddiursa, who was added because of Mai's Ursaring design on her outfit. Next up is Lian. His team will be Dugtrio, Hisuian Slugoo, and Kleavor. Lian's whole theme revolves around digging, much like his descendant Clay, so Dugtrio is the perfect addition to work alongside Slugoo. As for Kleavor, it's the noble that Lian's in charge of, and is a Pokemon that would be great for digging thanks to its badass axes. Calaba, or Calaba, I don't know. I decided to go with a nature theme since she's always carrying around those plants. So her team will be Bibarel, Staravia, and Ursaluna. These are all normal types with a different typing that represents a different aspect of the earth. Ursaluna for land, Bibarel for sea, and Staravia for air. Arceus. Her team will be Kirlia, Misdreavus, and Hisuian Lilligant. Hisuian Lilligant doesn't need much explanation, but as for Kirlia and Misdreavus, they have hair, and Arceus likes to style hair. It makes sense, right? Well, Kirlia actually has even more reason to be here since it shares a dancing theme with Hisuian Lilligant. Iceken. His team will be Mantike, Lumineon, and Basculegion. Since Iceken lives by the sea, I gave him a water type team. Mantike is a pretty common Pokemon in the Cobalt Coastlands, so that makes it an easy pick. And as for Lumineon, I mean, it's a Pokemon that needs more love, and I don't really know if I'll ever get the chance to talk about it again, so here it is. Nah, but in all seriousness, Iceken has a fear of ghost types, so a Lumineon that illuminates would be a perfect partner to ward off any ghost types at night. Paulina. Her team is Vulpix, Rapidash, and Hisuian Arcanine. As the Warden of Arcanine, who also watches over a Growlithe, it makes sense for her to be a Fire-type specialist. It adds even more to the forbiddenness of her relationship with Iceken. Not only are they from different clans, but they also like contrasting types. Vulpix can be found around the same area you find Growlithe. And as for Rapidash, I just think it's a really majestic Fire-type I can see Paulina riding. Ingo. His team will be Magnezone, Gliscor, and Sneasler. This one was a bit tricky at first, but I ultimately decided to go with Pokemon that are reminiscent of his team from his former life. Magnezone is supposed to be his Klinklang, Gliscor is supposed to be his Crustle, while Sneasler is just the noble that he's in charge of. Then there's Melly. His team will be Skuntank, Dustox, Drapion, and Hisuian Electrode. Electrode is the noble that Melly watches over, so that's a duh. But as for Dustox, I decided to add it because Melly specializes in poison types, and it's a Pokemon that can be somewhat elegant and graceful thanks to its vibrant colors, which I think works well with the pompous Melly. I hate him. Sabi. Now it's pretty obvious that Sabi's supposed to be a Psychic type specialist, considering she's the Warden of Hisuian Braviary, and is also said to have some type of clairvoyance, supposedly. So why the heck they gave her this team? No. Sabi's new team will be Mr. Mime, Bronzong, and Hisuian Braviary. Mr. Mime evolves from the Sinnoh native Mime Jr., while Bronzong can be found in the Snowpoint Temple, which is where Sabi gives you the ability to fly with Braviary. Carrick. His team will be Mamoswine, Walrein, and Hisuian Avalugg. As the ancestor of Wulfric, it makes perfect sense for him to use ice types. I decided to replace his Frostlass with Mamoswine, however, as I think it fits his tough personality a lot better. As for Walrein, it's here to tease Garrett's potential connection to Crash or Wake as well. It's still an ice type, but also part water. Now time for the clan leaders, Adaman and Irida. Starting with Adaman, his team will be Leafeon, Umbreon, Vaporeon, and Dialga, while Irida's team is Glaceon, Espeon, Flareon, and Palkia. There really wasn't much to change here since their whole theme is that they use evolutions that are counterparts to each other, so instead the big change is giving them the legendaries they've been worshipping, Dialga and Palkia. My headcanon is that when Arceus decides to be nice enough to send the player character back to their home time, they'll leave Dialga and Palkia with them. And now time for these three. or as I like to call them, Hisui and Team Rocket, cause they're annoying as fuck. Clover. Her team will be Tangrowth, Abomasnow, and Frostlass. With Abomasnow being her only Pokemon, I decided to give her 2 more Pokemon to reflect both of its typings. Tangrowth for Grass and Frostlass for Ice, which is another Pokemon her descendant Candice uses. Coin. Her team will be Medicham, Toxicroak, and Overqwil. This time, the team will be representing Toxicroak's fighting and poison typing, Medicham for fighting, and Overqwil for poison. Charm. Her team is Gengar, Nidoqueen, and Rhydon. This one is the reverse. I added Nidoqueen since it's a Kantomon that has both the qualities of Gengar and Rhydon, being both a poison and ground type. Now time for the Galaxy team, starting with Hisui. Her team will be Infernape, Ambipom, Lopunny, and Luxray. This is basically a mix of her normal team and her Path of Tenacity team, which is based off of Flint's team. Next is Benny. His team will be Ninjask, Gallade, Gardevoir, and Weezing. Gardevoir and Gallade stay to connect Benny to Wally, but Ninjask and Weezing are here to fit with Benny's ninja theme. Ninjask is literally a ninja, while Weezing represents the smokescreen ninjas use to disappear. Commander Komodo. His team will be Snorlax, Heracross, Hariyama, Hisuian Samurott, and Hisuian Gudra. Because Komodo is a warrior, I gave him Hisuian Samurott. He also gets Hariyama, a straight up sumo Pokemon to reflect Komodo's sumo moves, as well as Hisuian Gudra, who's a big, tough, and tanky mon like his Snorlax. Then there's Akari and... wait, Ray? I'm doing this on the fly, Gamefly. Akari and Ray. I don't really know, they're not that relevant to be honest. But what the heck, I'll give it a try. Their teams will be Hisuian Typhlosion, Torterra, Staraptor, Clefable, and Pachirisu. First of all, is anyone else getting tired of the rivals getting Pikachus? Cause I am. Give them the Sinnoh Pikachu at the very least. Next, they should have gotten a Hisuian starter that you didn't choose. This team is going off the idea that you chose Rowlet. Lastly, why not add a Sinnoh starter as well since you can actually catch them here? For coverage, they should get one that's strong against their Hisuian starter. And last but not least, Volo. His team will be Empoleon, Lucario, Garchomp, Togekiss, Hisuian Arcanine, and Hisuian Zoroark. As awesome as the Volo fight might be, his team is pretty much a copy of Cynthia's, so to change that, I gave him Empoleon, a very royal Pokemon that I can see Volo using. And then there's Hisuian Zoroark, an evil Pokemon known for its illusions and hatred of the world. Much like Volo, whose Ginkgo Guild image was one big illusion, cause deep down he hates the current world, which is why he wants to meet Arceus to change it. They're a perfect match. But, feels like I'm forgetting something. Oh god! And that wraps up all the major team changes I'd make to the Hisui trainers. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. The next time we visit this series will be when Pokemon Scarlet and Violet come out. There, I'll give you all the new teams for all the major Paldea trainers. Until next time though, make sure to live your life to the fullest and have yourself a damn good one.